Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. When Anthony Joshua lost to Daniel Dubois, it really must have been Eddie Hearn's sort of lowest heavyweight point, if you like, probably since he signed Joshua, because it now meant that not only is he entirely dwarfed in that particular division by Frank Warren and Queensbury, him and Matchroom, but he's even got less heavyweights, ranked heavyweights, in his stable than, drumroll please, Ben Shalom. No wonder he threatened to chin him or whatever it was at that press conference a few weeks ago. And why do I say that? Because Ben Shalom has a certain Martin Bakole in his stable. He did a promotional deal with Martin in February of 2023. He remains Martin's promoter, and Martin is coming off an excellent win over Jared Anderson, where he sort of became a bit of a national hero in his home country. I mean, there was an open top bus thing, and going on, and the whole thing was very sort of all bells and whistles. But it must be galling for Eddie, what with Joshua being smashed up and seemingly damaged goods, perhaps permanently. And he doesn't really have any other heavyweights in his stable, does he? I mean, Johnny Fisher, come on, man. Good ticket seller, reasonable domestic level fighter, but he's an area champ at the moment, and I don't see him ever crashing the world scene, regardless of what Eddie tries to spin. And don't forget, of course, Fraser Clark, who has got the rematch with Fabio Wardley. He's part of the Boxxer and Sky stable. So Eddie's obviously pissed off, but when we talk about Martin Bakole, I did a video for the undercard of the proposed Usyk versus Fury rematch, 21st of December. That's going to take place, and there is one fight that I didn't mention that might be on it but hasn't been confirmed, and that is Bakole versus Agit Kabayel, which is a brilliant matchup, an absolutely brilliant matchup. Now, Bakole is rated, I think it's number 1 by the WBA, but he's in the top 5 of all 4 sanctioning bodies. That's off the back of the Jared Anderson win. Kabayel is also very highly ranked and is an undefeated fighter. And Kabayel really came to prominence with those 2 fantastic wins. I mean, back-to-back wins over, the last one was against Frank Sanchez, and people have said, well, Sanchez was injured, he had a bad knee, and he didn't want to turn down the Saudi bag and all the rest of it. Okay, there's maybe some truth in that, but the manner in which Kabayel dealt with Sanchez was very, very impressive. And prior to that, he defeated another undefeated fighter, Arslanbek Makhmudov, who since has lost again, but at the time undefeated, a guy no one wanted to fight, kind of like Sanchez. Kabayel, the underdog, went in there and stopped both these guys. And he stopped Makhmudov, easily. He's beating him up with body punches, and Makhmudov was truly exposed. Frank Sanchez, okay, he's, maybe he did have an injury, but it was still I'm not going to take anything away from Kabayel. Kabayel is an extremely good fighter, and to put him in with Bakole, whether it is on the Saudi card, the Riyadh card, or whether it's as a headline on a Sky Sports standalone card, that's fair enough. I don't mind. I just think it's a great matchup. Kabayel, 17 KOs in 25 wins. Doesn't have a reputation for being a one-punch hitter, but he's such a good technical fighter, and he doesn't hit hard with one punch. He just wears you out and befuddles you and bewilders you, and he is a hurtful puncher. Bakole, we know about, huge man, has come in close to 300 pounds on occasion. 16 wins in 21, 16 KOs or stoppages in 21 wins, and the one defeat, which was a stoppage defeat to Michael Hunter. Seems like years ago, because it was years ago. Yeah, I mean, I think this would be a brilliant fight that And again, I'm not someone who regards zeros as particularly important. I don't care about undefeated records. I mean, I don't see why Sanchez can't come again, you know, even though he got stopped by Kabayel. I don't see why Anderson can't come again. It's whether you want to do it, whether you lick your wounds, whether you're philosophical about what happened. Your mental strength needs to be there. You need to build, improve, live the life, and so on and so forth. If those two guys, as two examples, want to do it, they can do it. Those respective defeats don't necessarily bother them. And if they want to look for inspiration, they need look no further than Martin Bakole, because this is a guy who has, for the most part, been avoided. And he's had to wait for his big breakout win, which was Anderson. And he's not a spring chicken, Bakole. Bakole is a, you know, he's in his 30s, I think. Is he in 30s now? Was he 33 maybe? 31, 33? Not old for a heavyweight, but nevertheless, he's had to wait since that defeat and rebuild and stay dedicated and all the rest of it. And I think he's done extremely well, you know, to sort of stay dedicated and keep his eyes on the prize, because you can drift away from the sport, especially if you're not getting paid, of course. If you're not getting any work, you don't get paid. You know, if you're injured, you don't get paid. And as you know, if you've ever known any sort of professional fighters, you'll know that they go into many contests with, you know, niggling injuries. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon at all. So I think that Kabayel versus Bakole is an excellent fight. I'm not sure whether it will be on the Riyadh card. If it is, then that gives the undercard, because we were talking about how the undercard was, by Saudi standards, by Riyadh standards, slightly disappointed, even though there are a couple of good fights on there. Nevertheless, if this jumps on board, it elevates that card up, I think, you know, because this should be a cheap support, I think, if it's Kabayel versus Bakole. Both those guys, they do deserve, you know, a big opportunity on a big stage, I think. In fact, they've both had it. They've already been on Riyadh cards. But, you know, the point is that to fight each other, to have the guts to fight each other. And again, I suppose we have to thank the excellent Turkey's money bag, as always. This will really propel them up. I mean, they're both highly ranked anyway, but Ben Shalom said it's a fight we've been talking about for some time. For me, the two most avoided heavyweights in the world. The IBF are notorious for enforcing their mandatory, so the best one for us to be involved in. We really fancy the fight. We're hoping we can get it done this year in December. We'll see what happens. Yes, he's right. The IBF do enforce their mandatories, and the winner of this fight, if it comes off, I think it probably will, would be in line. I think would be the mandatory for Daniel Dubois' IBF title. And if the winner of this fight, whether it is Kabayel or Bakole, beats Dubois, I mean, they're in the driving seat. They're second only to Usyk. So let me know what you think. I mean, it's like Shalom was also saying no one wants to risk their belt against Bakole. And I would include Usyk into that, because, I mean, he's high risk, low reward, isn't he? But when you're a champion, you've got to fight. You've got to fight these guys. I wonder if Usyk, if he does beat Fury a second time, I think he might walk away. I don't know. I mean, that's only speculation, but it wouldn't surprise me. What else can he do in the sport? Unified, undisputed champ at cruiserweight and heavyweight. What else is there to do? But of course, this is a difficult game to walk away from. Very, very difficult. But yeah, what do you think? I think Kabayel versus Bakole is a great fight. I'm convinced most of you share that view. But let me know if you've got any thoughts below in the comments section, as always. And please, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. You're doing us a big favour. And also hit the like button, because they count the likes and it helps the channel out a lot. But yeah, not long now. Only, what are we on now? 72 hours till the proverbial kick-off for this particular Riyadh card. I'm looking forward to it. I'll bet you are too. All right. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I will speak to you soon, and bye for now.